This is ABC7 News at 6. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis.
And I'm Haley Wilkes. Thank you for joining us. Prepare for the worst and hope for the best. That's what Governor Rick Scott is saying in preparation of Hurricane Matthew as it pounds the Caribbean. A
state of emergency was already declared yesterday in both Florida and North Carolina, with FEMA pre-positioning resources along the east coast of the U.S. Governor Scott is urging people along the I-95 corridor from the Keys to Jacksonville to start preparing now.
Follow your local officials. Heed all warnings and orders. If you're on Florida's East Coast, you should know today where you will go if you have to evacuate. Think about where you're going now. Don't wait for 24 hours.
All right, let's get the latest now on the storm with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Yeah, it's an important point to make there. The East Coast is really vulnerable at this point with a major hurricane possibly working up the coast. You know, I posted last night, this could be the worst case scenario if the storm stays just offshore of the East Coast, because then everyone along the East Coast will get a taste of these hurricane force winds. But that remains to be seen, because things have changed a little bit again today. As anticipated, this thing would go back and forth, and it has, because there's so many different players. But right now, for certain, it is just pounding the eastern tip of Cuba near Guantanamo. The center itself is located about 50 miles east-southeast of the tip there. Right there, it's getting ready to make landfall. And on top of that, look at this tremendous amount of rainfall that continues to draw into the storm in the mountainous terrain of Dominican Republic as well as Haiti. So even though the winds may be lessening up somewhat in Haiti, they're still getting life-threatening mudslides and heavy rainfall there. So that's devastating for these islands. And the eastern tip of Cuba really getting hit hard now with some strong winds. The pressure, 949 millibars. That's come up from yesterday, but it's actually gone down a little bit from this earlier this morning. North wind, it's moving to the north at 9, and we expect it to move in through the central and northern Bahamas, northwest Bahamas, and then off toward Florida. You'll notice that this has shifted off to the left again, and it does include Highlands County and northeastern portions of DeSoto County now, and then it takes off to the northeast. But this is subject to change, because the European forecast model actually has it spinning and looping around just off the coast of Jacksonville. So we'll wait to see how that goes. As far as the winds go, this is again a forecast model that is subject to change, but it's showing that these tropical storm force winds are encroaching on into Manatee and Sarasota counties, and all it would take would be a little jog to the left of the next forecast track to get those in. And as far as the forecast path and tracks go, different forecast models suggesting now a little bit closer to the Sun Coast. These are the Navy models, but the majority of them, the bulk of them, keep it off the coast of the east coast of Florida. We'll have much more on our forecast, some rain around. Details on that coming up in a few minutes. Back to you.
Okay, Bob, thank you. Haiti has experienced its share of natural disasters, and now Matthew has hit a part of that country.
ABC7's Dwayne Lindo spoke with a local nonprofit making plans to send relief as soon as this week. Dwayne.
Well, Haley, Agape Flights, located in Venice, has Haiti in mind. And after seeing some of the first pictures of the devastation Matthew has caused, they have some concern.
It's all hands on deck here.
Agape Flight's CEO Alan Spear is well aware of the type of damage a hurricane like Matthew can cause the country of Haiti.
The biggest thing right now is the amount of rainfall and the mudslides.
For 30 years, Agape Flights has made trips to the Caribbean nation, providing supplies to more than 300 religious missionaries for distribution. The organization is collecting relief supplies that will be flown to Haiti this Friday.
10 by 10 tarps or larger with some sort of thickness of 12 mil or above, because they're going to need shelter. And then the water filtration tablets that purifies water.
Spear also providing items like food packs and power bars to families and missionaries like Eris Labadi. In the country's capital, Port-au-Prince, waiting out the storm.
There is a lot of wind. We see a lot of branches that have been broken from the breeze.
Labadi also witnessing plenty of flooding. Also hearing stories coming from villages in southern Haiti where roofs were torn from homes.
And the people had to run because finally the roof of the shelter the wind just took it. They'll run to other places, you know, in the neighborhood where it looks a little safer. The houses where, you know, they have a concrete roof.
Just hearing these stories, Spear is anticipating he may need more volunteers and extra relief.
But anytime we get into this kind of a crisis and this sort of a disaster relief situation, we'll have many people that will come in here and assist us, and we are very grateful for that.
Spear also says he will view updated pictures within the next week and gauge the amount of damage caused by the storm, just to give them an idea of how many supplies they may need. Back to you.
Thank you, Dwayne. And here on the Suncoast, flooding is a concern in Bradenton. A pair of 55 and older communities suffered damage from Hurricane Hermine, and residents fear it could happen again. This was the scene a few weeks ago at Park Acres Estates and Burgundy Condos. Dozens of units at Burgundy were a complete loss, while some people at Park Acres suffered extensive damage to their homes and belongings.
That water comes up quickly, and it just runs like a river. It's very swift.
Being a native Floridian, you get used to this kind of stuff. You know, you just hope that nobody loses, alive or anything. Material things you can replace.
Good, good.
McCoy says she and others will continue to push for the county to fix the infrastructure so the storm water will drain more efficiently. And in Northport, the fire chief is saying that the Myakkahatchee Creek is already up 5 feet from normal levels due to afternoon and evening showers. He's warning residents of potential street flooding, especially as Matthew approaches. And in regards to driving in standing water, remember the saying, turn around, don't drown.
Bradenton police asking for information on a fatal pedestrian crash. Police say a vehicle struck and killed 74-year-old Dana Kay along State Road 64 East just before 7 o'clock this morning. No charges have been filed against the driver, but the investigation is ongoing. If you saw the incident take place, you're asked to call Bradenton Police or Crime Stoppers in Manatee County at the number there on your screen, 866-634-TIPS. Mold continuing to plague city buildings in Venice.
Coming up, details on this latest problem and how city officials are handling it.
What does it mean when New South Window says factory direct?
It means we have a factory.
It means we eliminate the middleman.
It means you get an award-winning, energy-efficient window at factory direct pricing.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell. Replacing your windows will not just beautify your home, but save you big bucks on your energy bills. I've done the research. I've seen the factory. New South Window is my hands-down choice.
New South Window. We manufacture, we install, we guarantee. Call now.
Annual wellness visits are important for healthy living. When you schedule your yearly exam, MCR Health Services is here for you.
With over 25 healthcare centers featuring multiple services and 8 pharmacies, we are here for you. Call or click today.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on a pedal. You get a clean mop pad that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
At Sunset Subaru in Sarasota, we make sure you get the most for your money. More years, more miles, more 2016 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus winners than any other brand. And right now, you can lease the most award-winning small SUV on the planet. A new 2016 Subaru Forester for just $209 a month, complimentary maintenance included. At Sunset Subaru in Sarasota, get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
The all-new MySuncoast.com. Just another way we're here for you.
More mold problems for the city of Venice.
First it was the Venice Community Center, then the public library, and now mold has been discovered at a storage facility containing valuable city archives. ABC7's Christopher Bradley joins us live tonight in Venice with more on the story. Christopher?
Well, Scott and Haley, it seems like every few months we find out about another building in Venice that has been infected with mold. This is the room City of Venice officials are bringing about 40% of their archives to. They hope it will be impervious to mold.
I have donated my uniforms, my rifle, all my memorabilia, frankly.
For Larry Humes, the Venice Archive isn't just a place for storage, it's a place for living history. Sadly, there was something else living amongst the history.
It's the worst case scenario. It's every curator's nightmare.
Mold was discovered when Michelle Harm, curator of the Venice Archives, along with paper conservationist Sonia Jordan Mowry, visited an off-site storage facility 2 weeks ago.
We opened the door and we're looking at some of the materials. We found an outbreak of the white fuzzies, mold.
Books and sensitive materials require a controlled environment, something they weren't getting at that storage facility.
Unfortunately, the environmental systems were not working as they should have been, so we needed to come up with a real quick solution.
The solution was to bring the materials here to this local office building in Venice that has some extra room.
It's close to 400 boxes and then about 130 bound volumes of the gondolier, so it's a rather large portion of our collection, about maybe 40% of our collection.
But much of the collection has to first be cleaned. That's where Sonia Jordan Mowry comes in.
We need to remove all the things that are not currently contaminated, and then the white fuzzies, the germinating spores, will be treated by putting in a very dry environment under a fume hood.
The materials will then be vacuumed and wiped with a mixture of water and ethanol.
It's tangible history. It's things that we can hold in our hands and say, okay, now I understand how this community was built 90 years ago. That's valuable. That's important.
And some of the archives have already been moved into this room. The pieces of the archive that were infected with mold were taken to a nearby laboratory for cleaning. Live in Venice, Christopher Brantley, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Christopher, and especially difficult to keep that away in Florida.
Yeah, we're the humidity capital of the United States,
Yeah.
maybe? I don't know. But we have a lot of it, that's for sure. And we'll get the latest on the forecast and on Hurricane Matthew right after this.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse. Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Are you losing hope? You can recover and get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares.
Call 1-800-764-8708. That's 1-800-764-8708.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
Get to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota today for deals worth celebrating during the Jeep Celebration event. Come shop the area's largest selection of Jeep Wranglers or check out a new Jeep Cherokee priced as low as $19,999. Stop by to see the stylish new Jeep Renegade starting at just $17,699. Or drive away in a new Jeep Patriot for just $14,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
The official salon of ABC7.
cutting loose along.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, AND services.com.
Well, Bob, what a strong storm that the Caribbean's dealing with right now with
Yeah,
Matthew.
and it's been so long, people may become a little bit complacent of it. Just kind of, what's Matthew doing? But I tell you, we have to be very diligent on this one because I tell you, this storm still has the potential to come across the state. There's still some models that suggest that. It's unlikely at this point, but you got to put that out there because in reality, the models that are showing that are fairly reliable, but the most reliable ones keep it just off the coast of Florida, the East Coast, and that's even more damaging as far as that goes because usually when a storm hits, it hits a small area, it moves in, but if it just moves right along the coastline, that means they all get that hurricane force wind all the way up. Yeah, all the way up it. So we'll see how that plays out. Still a lot of ifs, though, when it comes to this storm. We'll keep an eye on it for you, obviously, right here. What you should be doing is preparing for the possibility of tropical storm force winds here along the Sun Coast. We are not under any warning at this point, or watch for that matter, but that may be changing as we go through time. Anna Maria webcam showing some showers starting to move in again, not nearly as much as we saw last night at this time, but boy, they're still firing up and producing some rainfall where they don't need it in some areas that had over 5 inches yesterday. Well, here's the weather headlines, and this is subject to big changes over the upcoming days. A 30 to 60% chance now. This was at 20 to 30 earlier today, and now it's at 30 to 60% chance for tropical storm force winds in our inland counties, DeSoto, Hardee, and Highlands counties. Not so much for Sarasota and Manatee. That chance is at about 30% for Manatee and Sarasota counties. So we'll keep an eye on that number. If that starts to go up, obviously, we have more of a threat here. DeSoto and Hardee County, the winds expected on Thursday, midday through Friday morning, 30 to 40 sustained with gusts up to 60 miles an hour, and that can cause damage. And the coast, our coast, anywhere east winds at 20 to 25 miles an hour. Seas offshore, especially offshore, 6 to 10 feet. We are anticipating some heavy rain bands come through occasionally. We're not on the bad side of the storm, so we're not going to see the inundation of 10 to 15 inches at this point, but we will see some heavier showers move through, I do believe, on Thursday and Friday. Get a look at the rainfall. It's starting to build up. We had a water spout right there near Ruskin in Tampa Bay just about an hour ago. Showers now at the north end of Anna Maria and some heavier rainfall near Palmetto, but not as much and not as widespread. Down to our south, another pretty good band of showers, not very intense lightning developing near Nokomis, stretching down southward, heading off toward Inglewood, although they're moving very slow. In fact, it looks like they just held up there in the last frame or so. So keep that in mind, some moderate to heavy showers, but most of the heavier rain has moved off to the east. Now, there are some watches and warnings. Warnings in terms of flood warning for our area, but watches, tropical storm watch from the 7 Mile Bridge all the way throughout the Keys, the upper Keys, and right there through Miami. That's a tropical storm watch, and that may change over to warning. This last advisory, they had to extend the hurricane watch a little bit further south. It was at Deerfield Beach, and now it's all the way down to near Miami, stretching up all the way to Daytona Beach. So that's a large area to be under a hurricane watch, and that's simply because the storm may parallel the coast and cause all sorts of havoc across the eastern portion of the state. I mentioned the warnings now in effect for some of the rivers and streams. Obviously, the Manatee River near the Myakka Head, some flooding there going on. Also, the Horse Creek, as well as the Myakka River at the Myakka State Park, some flooding conditions as a result of the heavy rain yesterday. Currently, it's 82, cloudy skies, and the pressure 29.80 inches, northeast winds at 9. The high today, another hot one, 93. That's 2 degrees shy of a record of 95, and 0.06 of an inch of rainfall. Well, we'll get to the tropics real quickly. There's several players. That's the reason why the models are confused right now. We have another tropical storm. This is Nicole. We have some dry air. On top of that, a high pressure in the mid-levels, driving this off to the northwest. This trough is going to exit to the northeast. That may allow this high pressure to build in and kind of block everything and cause this storm to hit Florida more so. And the European model suggesting that that's going to happen. High pressure is going to build in a little bit stronger and force this storm to be more on a northwesterly course in time. As far as the pounding goes, right now it's hitting the eastern tip of Cuba, just about ready to move on shore in Guantanamo. And it's still bringing tremendous and torrential rains into Haiti. And the warnings are out for most of the Bahamas tonight as the storm moves off to the northwest. And again, the timing of it appears to be for us Thursday and early Friday. This particular map shows the storm center offshore, but that can change, and it has been over the past several days, as we said. with this storm. It's going to change quite a bit. Now, I want to show you these models before we get to our forecast. You can see they're starting to lean this way a little bit more, and these are the Navy models I talked about earlier, heading more toward the coast. Even if it were to do this, by the way, it doesn't appear that we'd see a hurricane, but maybe a Category 1 if it moves in as a 4, but it would not be the devastating storm that they're seeing right now and could see along the southeast coast of Florida. Winds will be out of the northeast tomorrow, 5 to 10 knots. Lots to watch over the upcoming 48 hours. A light chop in the bays and inland waters. And the water temperature are very warm, 85 degrees. Tides upcoming on your screen, 9:12 for the next low tide and sunset at 7:13. Tonight, looks pretty good. Partly cloudy skies, a 40% chance for showers and storms tomorrow afternoon, and then better chances turning windy, and we'll watch closely as we see what Matthew does. Linda?
Hi, I'm Linda Carson. Coming up, we'll introduce you to an amazing woman, Faith Graves, and tell you about her journey that's approaching 100 years.
Whether you're a homeowner looking for a professional installation or a contractor looking for top quality products, Sarasota Glass and Mirror can meet your every need.
For 42 years, Sarasota Glass and Mirror has been the area's premier supplier and installer of quality glass products for your home or business. As an authorized PGT WindGuard dealer, we know how to protect your home with everything from the PGT WindGuard impact-resistant windows and doors to shower enclosures and decorative mirrors. The Sarasota Glass and Mirror team has the knowledge to tackle any project.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
They care. They take the time to understand you, take the time to understand your case.
There's no better satisfaction to me than to see a client who is happy because of the job we've done for them.
It's really actually very comforting to know that there's someone that you've heard of and you're getting recommendations about that you can turn to when you have a problem.
I felt like I had a partner in this, and he was going to be by my side.
Well, a lot has happened in this world in the last century, and today's amazing Suncoast woman has been around for it all.
ABC7's Linda Carson has more. Linda.
Faith Graves greets people at Westminster Towers in Bradenton, where she lives, by saying, "Now I'm fine because I'm 99." And she's packed those 99 years full of love, adventure, and giving to others. Faith's mother died when she was 8. Growing up, she had one ambition.
I wanted to marry a minister. Well, I went to Boston University and studied in the School of Religious and Social Work and got my degree. Didn't meet any ministers that I wanted to fall in love with.
She was teaching religion in Covington, Kentucky, when a young minister heading to Brazil as a missionary preached at her church.
Well, the Sunday we used to preach, I was all excited, going to meet this nice young minister. So we went to church. I sang in the choir, and as I sat there and listening to his sermon, a voice came to me saying, "This is the man you're going to marry."
After church, he asked her to lunch.
He said, "Would you marry me?" On the first date, I said, "Well, I'll have to think about it and have to pray about it."
She really liked him.
Ellis was a handsome man. He was president of his debate club, and he could convince anybody of anything. So the next day when we met, I told him yes.
She and Ellis left for Brazil.
Arrived in Brazil. 2 days later, Pearl Harbor. So where there's no communication between families anymore, no letters, no way of getting through.
They spent 20 years in Brazil. Their 3 children were born there, and they returned to the States when Faith got breast cancer. Ellis preached at a Florida church.
They asked him to come back and be the pastor of Trinity Presbyterian Church in Clearwater. We were there for 14 years.
Then a terrible shock.
Then he had word from the doctor that he had a year to live.
Ellis resigned from his church and retired.
But the doctor made a mistake. He lived 20 years beyond that, fortunately.
They enjoyed retirement, but shortly after they moved to Westminster in Bradenton, Ellis died. But Faith is still involved in many activities and knits every day to help others.
And I usually make 3 or 4 sweaters a month, and they go to the migrants.
And her life lesson?
Remember all the good times. Forget the bad times.
Faith turns 100 in November, and she has the energy and intellect of a 20-year-old. But once her birthday passes, she plans to tell people, greet me with a bow. I'm 100 now. And she has a great sense of humor.
And you would never know it, that she's approaching 100. Wow.
She is on her feet going. She's expecting a birthday party, too.
She better get one. She
Yes.
deserves it.
Big one. Yeah, thank you, Linda.
Thank you, Linda. Have a great night.